He raced the nationwide cars, and he ends up today here in Victory Circle.
And he had a car and truck that could have done what this car did today. This is the first race he was able to close the deal without a problem.
Time to line him up.
Nobody does it better, I can tell you that.
He has a lot of practice.
He does. I like that.
3 wins in the last 5 Sprint Cup races for Kyle Busch as he pulls up to the autism puzzle pieces at the start-finish line.
Give me that flag.
We'll follow him to victory lane when we come back.
Kyle Busch at Victory Lane, 3rd win in 5 races. Our Steve Burns is down there looking for him. Steve.
Well, thank you, Chris. Kyle Busch climbs out of that number 18 car. Big celebration here in Victory Lane. His first Cup victory on the Monster Mile. Kyle, I heard you say earlier in the race that you weren't as good as the Roush cars. How did you guys get the car better? How did you get past them?
Steve Addington and these guys, you know, Steve Addington first, he made all the adjustments on this race car, this Combo Toyota, and made it better than what it was in the beginning, that's for sure. But these guys on pit road did a phenomenal job for me. Great job on the pit stops all day. Had a smooth, great day on pit road. And just want to thank my fans, thank the fans out there, everybody that watches NASCAR racing and puts up with all of us, and me especially. But, you know, we're just proud to be here. And we definitely didn't have the car to beat today. We had a 3rd place car, but we made the most of our effort there, and I believe on the long run we were as equal as they were. We just had to get out front to beat them.
Kyle, I heard you say on the radio you wanted that monster trophy to go home in the truck.
Well, that was Dickerson, but we missed out on 2 of those this weekend, and that's a fact. I believe that if we didn't have our troubles in the truck race, we could have won the thing. If we didn't have our troubles yesterday, we could have won the nationwide race too. So just apologize to Billy Blue Motorsports and Braun Racing, but got to thank JGR and all these guys back at the shop. They do such a great job. Mark in the engine shop, he's doing great. He's definitely stressing out, but we're definitely making the most of what we got right now, and can't wait till we get something else.
Congratulations, Kyle Busch. Another win in 2008. Let's go to Krista.
Well, the fans definitely saw a battle of the best between Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. You guys have been ahead of the class. How hard were you digging those last 50 laps?
That's all I could do. 2nd place is, this is a forced smile. It's terrible, you know, but my Office Depot team, these guys back at the shop, everybody working on these cars, they're getting things done. They're making them fast. I felt like we had a car that could beat the 18 most of the day, and we just struggle on pit road. That's something we've been working really hard on, and you know, they were just better. We finished 2nd.
Thanks for forcing the grin, Matt Yoakum.
The dominant car in the first third of the race belonged to Greg Biff on the 16, and then you had to go into survival mode because of all your issues. What was the biggest thing you had to fight near the end?
Probably the biggest thing was we couldn't run the right front bead blower, and the car got tight. But, you know, we lost our alternator early, first 100 laps, and when Carl was catching us, it wasn't running at the end of the straightaway. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was switching boxes, and looked down, the volts were about 9 volts, so we shut all the fans off and air conditioner, and you know, it's pretty tough. I didn't have any oxygen inside the car the whole day, and my visor open, there's too much dust and debris flying around, so I kept it shut. But it was a long day for us. We finished 3rd. It's what we need to do for points, and you know, excited that for Fox, you know, they did a great job this first half of the season. Can't wait to see them back in Daytona.
Thanks for all the excitement you've showed us, Greg.
Thank you.
To Dick Berggren.
With Matt Kenseth, who had his best run of the year, his best finish of the year, 4th. Clearly progress. Are you satisfied with your progress?
Well, yes and no. I mean, you always want to win. You know, we were a little bit off. You know, all the Roush Fenway cars were fast when they got here, and just got to figure out how to make ours just a little faster, I guess, than the rest. But we're just a little off. But overall, it was a great day. I mean, we're going the right way. I mean, I feel like we're on an upswing every week. We've been getting a little better over the last month or so. So proud of all these DeWalt guys are digging in. We know we still got some work to do to be a contender to win, but we're getting closer.
Driver was solid, and the crew was solid. Matt?
And catching up on pit road with Jeff Gordon, the home track for he and sponsor DuPont. What about your day today?
Well, we finished 5th. You know, you got to be happy about that. But, you know, it's a distant 5th, and we got just too loose there at the end. and I was just riding it to the finish. Knew it was going to be a big points day. Unfortunately, some guys had some big trouble. You know, we got an awesome pit crew and team. I mean, they're doing their job right here on pit road. Communication. I mean, it was a solid weekend for us. We were about a 5th place car, and that's what we got.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
So these are the unofficial results, and Kyle Busch, you heard some boos in the background. Remember his quote after winning a race, I don't care about the boos. I'm here to race. I'm here to win. If I win, it just makes them more upset and crying on their way home. As we look at these results, Kyle Busch clearly after 13 races, the guy to beat Jeff Hammond, who has the best shot putting pressure on for him in the chase for the Sprint Cup Championship.
Right now, I've got to believe it's going to come from Roush Fenway, and the reason being Jack Roush dislikes Toyota. He'll work 10 times harder to figure out how to get his cars in front of that group right there. So look for Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, and maybe Matt Kenseth to put pressure on him during the chase.
And it was Kyle in the Toyota, and then 3 of the Roush Fenway Fords, and then 4 Chevys in the finishing order here. We'll check on points in a moment. Some final thoughts from our guys in the booth. Larry, Darrell, Mike.
Thanks, Chris. I would agree with Jeff that Roush Fenway is perhaps best poised to challenge Kyle Busch and Joe Gibbs for the championship. The Childress cars have been there, the Hendrick cars, those Chevrolets getting better, and I think they'll be in challenging position. It's going to be interesting to see how this season unfolds, and I hate it's going to unfold without us, but that's the way it goes.
You know, I watched American Idol, and David Cook, and when he won, he's saying, I had the time of my life. I have had the time of my life.
It has been a great season. You know, it's been a season of surprises. 4 months ago, 13 races ago, I think we were anticipating that it was going to be Hendrick Motorsports versus Joe Gibbs Racing. Certainly Joe Gibbs Racing, they're in the mix, but it almost seems like it's Kyle Busch versus maybe Roush Fenway. And, we've had 43 drivers every week that has made it exciting for NASCAR on Fox, and we'll be back. Daytona Speed Weeks 2009.
Well, I'm proudest of our team. Artie Kempner, Barry Landis, Richie Zions, all the folks in the production truck, up on the roof, all the way through our entire television compound for helping us do what we love to do and just bring our passion for this sport into your living room every Sunday. It's a labor of love for all of us, and one that we will joyfully continue in February.
You know what I'm proud of? You guys. You got it. You got it.
A three-way hug to wrap things up. We couldn't have done it without David Blatt either. What? Who's he? Well, he helps us out behind the scenes like a lot of people. And as we talk about how quickly things can turn or change, the Monster Mile, an example, the trophy there with your winner, Kyle Busch. Track position important for him. He was out in front with Carl Edwards. We weren't even 20 miles into this race, Jeff Hammond. And you see in the 19 car, Elliott Sadler, David Gilliland, this created not only a 10-car wreck, brought out the red flag, but watch some of the guys. There's Tony Stewart. We had half of the top 12 drivers in points. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the middle of that, trying to hang third, that were involved in this. Some were able to get back out on the track. Here's the effect after 13 races. That's where we stand in points.
It really kind of jumbled things up. Not so much about what Kyle Busch is doing, but more importantly, the guys that were trying to get in the top 12, well, they've closed up a lot. And the guys who wanted to stay in the top 12, well, they've lost some valuable ground.
And Matt Kenseth, now he's only 95 points out of that 12th spot. He's inching a little bit closer, and that's the important cutoff over these next 13 races, obviously.
And it looks like Matt and his group are starting to kind of like, find their own deal, and it's kind of like making it interesting as far as him fighting his way back in that top 12.
At Toyota, no wins last year. They have 5 this year. Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch has 4 of those. Horsepower advantage, you hear that rumbling from other people, but obviously Gibbs, the race team, they've done their work.
They've done their homework. I mean, you've got to take, because the fact they definitely got their tails kicked a year ago. Right now, Kyle Busch is leading this charge, and Joe Gibbs Racing, well, it pretty much sums it up. They've got 5 wins under this Toyota banner, and all of them have come from Joe Gibbs Racing, the majority from Kyle Busch, but also Denny Hamlin, and some real close races with Tony Stewart. So you've got to believe this group right here is going to be the one you're going to have to contend with before the end of the year.
Tony Stewart wanted me to mention he hasn't won a race yet this year.
But looking for you.
I kid because I care. Neither has Jeff Gordon, and Junior now 75 races without a win, longest in his career, but he's hanging in there in the points as you just saw. Major League Baseball, 3:30 Eastern on Fox, 12:30 Pacific, high definition. The action continues throughout all the way up to the All-Star game through the postseason. Of course, the NFL on Fox before we come back for more racing. Daytona 500 again, NASCAR on Fox. We go from Daytona to Dover. So Kyle Busch, the 23-year-old points leader, pulling into victory lane today. This is Fox's final NASCAR broadcast of the year. It's been a wild ride, and we thank you for your support. Brian France, Mike Helton, because of you, the viewers, the television ratings have increased for our pre-race show and the race themselves, and we couldn't have done it without the drivers, their teams, NASCAR, and you. We look forward to Daytona. We wish TNT the best of luck as they take over the NASCAR broadcast next week in Pocono. For our entire Emmy Award-winning team, for Jeff Hammond, for Digger, I'm Chris Myers. Thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox. We really appreciate the support. And for NASCAR on Fox, it's over and over.